Okay, great. So today's discussion is focusing on the go-to-market strategy. We'll dive deeper into the topic of marketing. For all startups, entrepreneurs, marketing is very critical. The whole concept of go-to-market is once you have a product in place, you have a product strategy in place, how that product reaches out to the end customer. That's what GTM or go-to-market is all about. Can you make it slideshow, please, Hari? Next slide. It's not a full screen. You need to make it slideshow. Yeah. Okay. So why strategy matters, right? 90% of startups fail. While not having a good GTM strategy uh, does not mean that you will fail, but at least you can enhance your chances of success by having a better GTM strategy. 42% fail due to poor strategy or market need. Without a clear roadmap, even great products struggle, right? There's no point in having a great product and then failing just because you didn't know how to take that product to market. That becomes the next most essential objective for a startup in terms of ensuring that you are making the product reach out to right customer, the right messaging is being communicated, understanding what the price point at which you want to operate, and so on and so forth. Disciplined approaches to customer understanding and growth. Effective marketing strategies help startups test their assumptions. There are certain assumptions that you go with when you test out the marketing strategy. You get to know how relevant those assumptions are, how correct those assumptions are. You validate the product market fit to ensure that the product is targeted to the right set of audience profile as well. The critical benefits include align product with customer need, prevent wastage of resources. Whenever you are a startup entrepreneur, you are starting with limited time, limited money, limited bandwidth. These are extremely important resources, and you don't want to misuse them by misdirecting it in the wrong direction. Valuing your time is the most critical aspect, which is grossly undermined by many entrepreneurs. They feel that now that they are out of a full-time job and the startup is what they're going to do 24/7, they can take their own sweet time in execution. They don't realize that the opportunity cost continues to go up as they spend more time building up their startup. Sometimes the market just requires that time to build up. But if you are going to remain inactive during that time, it's not helping anyone as well, right? Next slide, please. What is GTM all about? From a definition perspective, a GTM is a plan to deliver the product to right market with the right messaging. The combination of both is very important, right? How are you targeting the right customer and what is the message that you're communicating to that set of customers about your product? Both are extremely critical. And of course, the point would be at right time, right? When you feel that there is a important need for that product in market, that's when the messaging will resonate with the target customer and they will respond right away. The key question to ask is how to find, win, and keep customers, right? How do you sustain that enthusiasm and interest in your product over a long period of time? Which means that you not only need to update your marketing messages frequently, you need to enhance your product as well frequently so that it can live up to the changing expectations of the people and it does not stagnate or die. The core elements include market size and competition. Clearly define what your size of the market is, how many potential customers are you targeting, who are the other players in the market. Even if they are not precise bang on competition, it's still important for you to understand the level of offerings from the competition, which you need to improvise or get better at. Second one is the uniqueness of the product, right? What differentiates your product from the competition? What are those specific features which will help your product stand out compared to the other products in the market? What are the main pain points that you're trying to address as far as the customer is concerned, right? Is it pricing? Is it features? Is it reach? Is it performance? Is it speed? All these aspects, once you are able to pinpoint the exact pain areas which the customer has, it becomes easy from a resonance perspective, because that's how you will craft and draft your marketing message as well. The more clear or directed your messaging is towards the problems which the customers are facing, the faster will be the uptick for them to pick up the product and start using it. Channels, right? Are you selling directly? Are you selling through portal, online, offline, O2O? Making such critical decisions is an integral part of the GTM strategy. The more the channels you have, the more is the marketing spend, the more is the ad spend. And accordingly, you will need to build up a larger pool of funds to be able to launch a product. Resonant messaging which relates to or resonates with the lingua which the customer is used to. And finally, sales and support, right? If it's digital or it's online or it's offline, you would need people to provide do the sales. You would need people to provide support for the product once the customer has bought the product and all. So all this are essential components as far as the GTM strategy is concerned. Of course, there can be more, but we decided to keep a limited short list so that it doesn't sound very overwhelming when you try and build up your GTM strategy. Next slide. Okay, what is the GTM framework for an early stage startup, right? First, we need to define the customer value proposition, right? A B2B SaaS founder defined their ICP as a small law firm with 5 to 20 lawyers, helping them streamline their case management. So what's your typical customer profile? It's very important to identify that. The narrower the customer profile, the sharper are the product features which are targeted for that customer profile. The easier is your marketing message, easier is your GTM strategy. The more wider is your target audience, the more complicated the GTM strategy becomes. Even if you, from day zero, you always believed that your product can be used by any Tom, Dick, and Harry, you can't be selling to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You need to limit your effort by focusing towards a few obvious customers, converting them, ensuring that you're able to fulfill all the requirements, and then only look at expanding the user base. Problem solution fit. A founder realized that logistics SME struggled with invoice tracking, leading to building a simple app. You need to identify how the solution is addressing the problem. How much of the problem is being addressed by the solution? Is it something which is being covered completely, or is there still something being left out? You need to narrow that down and focus on that. Value proposition: and edtech startup pitched learn coding in 30 minutes a day to working professionals. The value proposition is very clear. You could become a coder if you spend 30 minutes a day on my app, right? You're clearly calling out what the value you're delivering. You're demonstrating how easy it is going to be to pick up. You're focusing on something like coding, which nowadays is talked a lot about how important it is to learn coding and so on and so forth. The next is the distribution channel. A local food brand chose Instagram and pop-up stores as their first channels, avoiding the expensive retail tie-ups. So there's a saying in Hindi which says, जितने आपके पैर जितनी आपकी चादर हो उतने ही आपको पैर लंबे करने चाहिए. So basically, you should try and spread your legs only as much as your bed sheet can cover. So similarly, from a distribution channel perspective, only go after a channel which you know you could make a significant impact through. If you feel that the size of a channel is too overwhelmingly large, it might not be practically feasible for you to be able to create an impact, then let go of that channel and focus on something more smaller, more tangible, more meaningful, so that you can convert a few wins before you look at widening the channel base. Pricing and packaging. Example, a digital art tool offered a free freemium model and converted 15% of free users into paid plans within the first 6 months. So freemium model, where you start from free and then later ask them to pay, is a very popular model, and a lot of people end up adopting that. But from a conversion perspective, whenever you look at asking the free users to start paying, you need to be very clear in terms of what's the value that you're delivering for the amount that you are likely to charge them, and whether that's something which is going to be amenable or suitable or convenient for the users to pay. Otherwise, it might mean that the entire user base might decide to walk out because they might feel that you're not delivering enough value around the lines of the price that you are asking them to pay. Support and onboarding, just selling a product is not enough. Providing an adequate customer support channel in parallel is extremely important, especially when it's a tech product, when there are multiple complex new features being involved. It becomes all the more important to ensure that you are providing a support structure which makes it easy for them to reach out to you for any support, small or large. For example, a fintech app provided video tutorials and instant WhatsApp support, improving activation rate by almost 20%, right? And that's again a great example of how video tutorials can help as well. Next slide. Hari, change the slide, please. Yeah. Case study. Now let's look at an interesting case study. Fresh Menu was a very popular cloud kitchen brand. I don't think they are functional anymore. They were targeting the urban consumers who lacked access to high quality chef-made meals delivered quickly. The solution they built was they built a cloud kitchen model to deliver freshly prepared meals. The GTM strategy involved targeting tech-savvy urban millennials. Uh, it created an app. It posted on Instagram, push notifications. The messaging said gourmet meals in 30 minutes. And they provided a 24/7 support service in-app tracking to look at the usage as well. What were the results? They observed a rapid growth in major cities, 60% reorder rate, and secured venture funding. The reason why they were not able to sustain the business and had to go down to competition is a separate story. But the fact remained that when they started something like Gourmet Kitchen, a cloud kitchen brand, they ensured that they got their targeting right, they got their user profile right, and that's why they were able to achieve a reorder rate of as high as 60%, which means that people who ordered for the first time went back and ordered more. They had a positive experience with the product. They must have had a positive experience with the support structure which came along with the product. And net, they had a fairly satisfying experience, which is the reason why there was a high order rate. Next slide, please. Marketing strategy builds the foundation. So having a very strong foundation is the day zero task. You need to ensure that you are having a great PMF where the product satisfies the strong market demand. You need to be very categorically clear that it is covering all the specific features and facets which might be expected from the product. Customer journey, you need to build the awareness about the product, educate them on why the solution or the product that you're providing is the best in the market, convert them by convincing them to start using the product, and finally retain by providing them good customer support. The entire four-step journey is very important. It's not, it would be a sad thing if you're able to build awareness and then they go and buy a competing product just because you didn't provide enough information on what product or service that you're providing, right? So you need to be very careful on that. The AIDA model states attention. You need to grab the interest. Either it's in form of an attractive brand ambassador, or it's a very striking marketing slogan, or you decided to publish a full page ad on the day of the budget when the attention on the newspaper was very high, and so on and so forth. Identify how you can grab the interest of the potential customers straight away. I stand for educate audience. You need to let them know the uh, need for the product. You need to let them know what is the problem that you're targeting. You need to let them know the features or the facets of the product that makes it a compelling product solution for them for that particular problem. Desire, show the benefits, show the advantages of the product, how it can actually make a difference, not just to solve the problem, but to provide certain value benefits which you might have packed or bundled along with your product. And finally, A is for action, which is drive conversions. How do you convince people once they are convinced about the value that your product delivers? How can you convince them to start using the product? That becomes quite critical as well, right? Next slide. Top marketing channels for early stage entrepreneurs. So in the early stages, there are limited options that you can try out simply because um you might not be sure about which channel is going to work, which is not going to work. So it's more of a trial and hit strategy where you want to use a few channels for a few days, see what's the kind of response you're getting, then decide whether you want to invest more in that channel or you want to try some other channels. So organic channels include content marketing, blogs, and videos. It does not require much of money to either write a blog or to even create a video log. Start posting on your social media, start posting on various third-party platforms which allow you to write and share your videos. Do a search engine optimization to ensure that from a keyword perspective, anyone who's searching with specific keywords which are related to your product, you're able to get the response on them. Community channels like Reddit, Discord, Twitter, build up a community, become more like a knowledge expert on that topic or the area where your product services, so that people can start looking up at you from the need perspective. Social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all these social media, start posting on a regular basis so that you can start creating a leadership or a followership there. Paid channels, meta ads, you can go after meta ads or Google ads. Uh, Test out the 100 dollar first. Start with a small budget and see how that small budget is performing before you decide to invest more amount of money. Go for referrals. Consider using influencers who can write about your product, talk about your product, create videos about your product. All these can be significantly important channels. It's always nice for someone else to refer your product and say, "Hey, I've used this, shaving razor, and it's a really good one. You should try it," and so on and so forth. Invariably, a customer has more trust and belief when a friend or a third party influencer is talking about the product rather than you talking about your product. Of course, that does not mean that you should not talk about your product, but hearing from a third party gives a lot more trust to the customer that the talk about the product or the praise of the product is genuine in nature. Next slide. Real world strategy example and Cuckoo. This was the product which included modular recycled furniture. The target was eco-conscious urban millennials. This is the example of a case study in South Africa. The GTA marketing involved Instagram, which included reels and pop-up exhibits, blog, which talked about sustainable living, user-generated content, where users are using the product and sharing their experiences with the product. That's again a very great marketing tool where the users are talking about your product. They become your brand ambassadors while using the product, while paying for the product, not asking you to pay for all the positive publicity that they're giving you. And it's always easier and more relatable for a customer's acknowledgement or testimonials compared to the brand owners talking about the product. Outcome, it built a strong, broad identity in just a period of 12 months, 30% monthly D2C growth. International e-commerce expansion also happened very quickly. Next slide. Marketing tactics to experiment. So there are some marketing tactics which are not like a done deal success, but something which can be tried out depending on the relatability for the market segment in which you are operating. The first one is lead magnets to capture free tools, trials, and ebooks. You can also conduct webinars or live sessions. Again, you need to be sure that you are sort of a knowledge expert and you can talk on that topic for a decent amount of time. Then you could conduct webinars, you could conduct live sessions. Don't be discouraged by the size of the audience initially when you're conducting these webinars and live sessions. People take their own sweet time to respond to such events, but you need to sustain that. You need to continue giving them the option. At some point of time, they will move away from just sitting on the fence and start using it. WhatsApp marketing is, of course, very popular. There are various tools now available where you can share your catalog on WhatsApp. The customer can place order on WhatsApp. Customer can pay on WhatsApp. They don't need to leave the WhatsApp platform at all. Live sessions can be conducted again through WhatsApp, through various social media channels. And finally, local creator collaboration where authentic promotion via bloggers and vloggers, a bit of what we discussed in the previous slide as well, but focusing a lot towards local creators, right? Creators or influencers who are in the actual target market where you're selling the product has a higher degree of relatability rather than going after some fancy influencer who might have a wide coverage but might have a low relatability to the region that where you're targeting the product. Next slide. The common mistake, there are four common mistakes that you need to avoid as far as your marketing tactic is concerned. Marketing before PMF. Don't waste your time generating eyeballs or generating publicity before you have completed the product market fit. The most essential part of a PMF is to be able to narrow down the definition of the target customer, the target group profile, just to ensure that you are got the PMF right. You know that the segment of customers who are going to be seeing your ads through your marketing are exactly the right customers that you want to target. That's very critical. Second one is too many channels. When you're starting up, especially when you're in the early stage, you anyway have a limited budget. You don't want to limit the budget further down by trying to go after multiple channels, which each of them may or may not require money, but definitely require your attention. And as I mentioned, time is a very valuable asset. Don't waste your time on by trying to go after multiple target channels. Focus on one or two channels first, see how they're performing, and then they take a decision whether you want to expand further. Ignoring retention, it's a no-brainer that the amount of cost involved to service a new customer is far more than retaining an existing customer. So if you're able to convince your existing customer to buy more, you will be able to grow much faster rather than constantly trying to get new customers. Of course, you need to definitely target a constant customer growth, but by spending much lesser amount of money, if you can retain and make your existing customers buy your product again, it might be a better strategy to start with. Once you built up substantial financial base and you know the fact that you can sustain a higher spend on marketing, then is where you need to do a bit of both, acquiring new customers and retaining existing customers as well. And finally, inconsistent messaging. So you can't randomly put up any message that you feel like. Typically, marketing strategy would involve creating a whole repertoire of content, a seasonality around when what content needs to be shared, and then rolling out the marketing campaign. To roll it out pretty randomly, any message which might be out of sync with the other messages might hurt you rather than doing any benefit. Next slide. Okay, what are the tools to get started? So there are broadly four areas to consider. From a branding and content perspective, Canva is a very popular tool which helps you to design posts and decks. Notion is a great tool for organic campaigns. And finally, Buffer helps to schedule social media posts. You obviously don't want to launch everything at the same time. So you can calendarize the various content and various posts using Buffer. From a customer insight perspective, Google Analytics is very popular. It gives you very specific details about how we can track the traffic, where is the traffic coming from, what's the profile we are looking at, frequency of access, and so on and so forth. Hotjar is again Hotjar is again a great tool for visual interactions to visually demonstrate, how the audience is responding and reacting to your marketing campaigns. Luma is popular for hosting events and registration for events and so on and so forth. Typeform is great from a creative survey perspective. Earlier, SurveyMonkey was very popular. Now, Typeform has also become quite popular. From a CRM perspective, HubSpot is known as a very effective tool to retain managing customers and their requirements on a regular basis. MailChimp is great from an automotive email perspective. Once you start an email campaign and you want to launch a lot of emails on a regular basis, MailChimp helps you to standardize that, localize it, customize your mail content, make it look very personalized to everyone who is being sent out the message, and so on and so forth. Next slide. So final thoughts and next steps, have some core principles, spend maybe a day or two or maybe even a week to identify what your GTM and marketing strategy is going to be. Start small, go after one channel, one tactic, one audience at a time. Validate fast with data and feedback. Recheck on whatever you have been assuming, whether it's true or not. Have one ear on the ground. Talk to customers regularly to make sure that you're getting the feedback on what they are experiencing with the product. Iterate often to refine the strategy. So don't be stubborn on not wanting to change. If you feel that certain things are not working right and you want to try out something new, then you should be able to do that. Mindset, build for real problems, market with purpose. Try and go after relatable scenarios where you feel there is a real and pertinent need which is being called out by the customer. Don't go after hypothetical examples which might not have as much data and information as might be needed for a soundproof product launch. Resources include there's a Y Combinator startup library which has a lot of resources which you can look at. Review the various newsletters and tips. Pick up one tactic to implement this week. Find out something that you feel has not been tried by you before and you would like to try it. Spend the whole week pruning out that strategy and see how it works out. Track the effectiveness and see whether you'd like to implement it in a longer duration or you'd like to change or tweak that around. Next slide. Yeah, so that's the summary. Open for questions, Ram.
Hi, sir. So far, I don't have any doubts, sir, but regarding this marketing, means we are doing social marketing.
Mm-hmm.
We are uh, we, we are not making we are not selling the products for much higher prices. We are selling it for very reasonable profits only. But still,
Mm-hmm.
the we are running the analytics as well. Means we have tied up with some US company, and they are telling, means the analytics itself shows there is a great market for the 5G routers and all. But in
Okay.
India alone, we are not able to um, still much. Means the number of sales is very less. So uh, we are doing the marketing, we are doing the analytics, everything, but still our sales is little less when compare. Means uh, the interest is little less in India. I think so. So how can we how can we resolve this kind of gap?
So if you have data points which clearly demonstrate that globally there is a ripe and a large market for the 5G routers, but you're not
Yes, sir.
able to get the traction in India, there
Yes.
could be two reasons. One is that your messaging is reaching out to the right set of people, but they are not interested, maybe because they feel that the product is not good or they feel that the market is not yet ripe enough for them to evaluate the products from a need perspective. The second one is maybe your messaging is not reaching out to the right set of people who might be looking at buying your product. So try and find out which of these two is the real reason. If you are able to catch hold of a potential customer and he says that, yes, I have seen your ad, but I didn't like it, you could get feedback and try and see how we could improvise the product or what are the features or facets about the product that need to be called out in your marketing communication. That's option one. Option two
Okay.
is again, try and reach out physically or manually to a few customers who you are very sure are your target customers, and you find out that they have never seen your ad. Then try and understand what social media they are on, what could be the reason why the ad that you had popped up did not pop up on their feed for whatever reason, and try and see if you could do something about that. So those are the two broad steps that you can take. One is to try and determine if people are seeing your ad and not liking, what is it that they're not liking about your ad? And if they're not seeing, then how can you ensure that more people like them get to see it as well?
Got it, sir. Okay. So
Hmm.
the analytics, we were able to see, we get to know like two things. One is ours is a not well established brand. They are still considering some other brands like TP-Link or some other Wi-Fi router brands and all. And the second means we are that one I got to know.
Hmm.
Then next is the price point. Means US customers and other of means foreign nationals, they are ready to pay the higher premium for some good quality products for some new features. But
Hmm.
here in Indian customers means they don't want to spend more than 10,000 for a 5G router. That means only the gamers.
Hmm.
Yeah. Gamer community in India, they are ready to pay any much, means they are ready to pay 30, 35,000, 40,000 and all. But
Hmm.
other people, they are not, other general consumers, they are not willing to pay 10, not even 10,000 or little more than that. So this
Hmm.
too we are able to see, sir. But we are planning to introduce some uh, affordable models, but uh, that that we are planning to launch. But this
Hmm.
too we got to know. These two answers I'm able to analyze, and I was able to get with some Q&As.
Yeah, because of your recognizability being low for your brand, maybe you might want to consider having some brand ambassador or someone who is very relatable with
Yes,
your product. That might probably resonate more with prospective customers, and they might have a lot more trust on your
got
product.
it.
That's something that you can.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it, sir. That's it from my
Great.
side.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for being a patient audience, Ram. Appreciate, and do take out time and come down. We can always have a face-to-face discussion as well.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yep.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Hari.
Bye.
Bye.